What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest of gaming news. And boy, do we have a hot one today. Fresh off the press, we got some exciting news. I'm Drew Bullslade. Of course, that's none other than Scott Savage. Scott, people can join us live each and every day, 11 a.m. Eastern, over on youtube.com/InsideTheGameOfficial, as well as kick.com/InsideTheGame. But if you can't join us live, make sure to hit us up later. InsideTheGame.ca, podcast services, and TV streaming networks around the globe. That's right. We're one of the few who are actually doing what we do on television as well. Make sure you support us over there. We see those numbers. We appreciate you. That's for sure.
That's right. I really hang on to the television thing, actually. A lot of my parents, my friends, they think that's the official mark.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yo, what's the official mark right now is after months of back and forth discussion, UK regulators have blocked the $69 billion deal for Microsoft to acquire Activision. Scott, it's a big one. Metacritic will be enforcing new tools after Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores gets absolutely review bombed by stupid users, and Apex Legends' new hero is an old dude. Yo, Scott, it broke this morning, man. So let's get going. We got a lot to talk about. UK regulators to block Microsoft's $69 billion deal for Activision. We've got Dan Primack and Stephen Datillo over at Axios covering this one with a whole bunch of everybody else kind of weaved in between because there's a lot happening here, man.
There's a lot of everybody has a take on this one. That's certain.
Oh, absolutely. British antitrust regulators on Wednesday said they'll seek to block Microsoft's $69 billion takeover of video game giant Activision Blizzard, citing how the merger could hinder competition in the emerging cloud gaming market. Why this matters? Well, let's get into it. This would be the largest gaming merger of all time. But now it is being opposed by both US and UK regulators, with European Union regulators continuing to investigate. The Federal Trade Commission sued to block the deal in late 2022, although the New York Post yesterday reported that Microsoft might close the acquisition while the FTC suit works through the legal systems. All over the place here, Scott. Activision Blizzard is saying the Competition and Markets Authority, the CMA's report, contradicts the ambition of the UK to become an attractive country to build technology businesses, end quote. And Activision reps said in a statement, "We will work aggressively with Microsoft to reverse this on appeal," end quote. The Call of Duty maker added the antitrust ruling does a disservice to the UK citizens. Microsoft President Brad Smith added, "We are especially disappointed that after lengthy deliberations, this decision appears to reflect a flawed understanding of this market and the way the relevant cloud technology actually works," end quote. Man, oh man.
That's a strong statement right there, but that really does get to the root of the issue here. Do they fully understand what this decision means?
I don't think they do. And I was talking about it with a couple other people, and I kind of brought up the fact that, sometimes people are more there for the numbers and not the understanding of how the game industry actually works. And I kind of wonder who's on the board here, if they are gamers and they get the concept of what they're building, or are they actually looking at just number takeover and stuff like that. Because just last week we covered it, Scott, Firewalk Studios got picked up by PlayStation without a hindrance. Now it's not $69 billion, mind you, but again, another studio acquired by PlayStation, right? We've seen studios get picked up all the time as of lately. This one being obviously the largest of all time, having a bit of an impact, and people are not all over the place. They are all over the place. One saying, yeah, this is a good deal. The other one saying this is not a good deal. And they kind of get into this situation of, video games are always blamed for violence. Right? It kind of gets me in that kind of same page of, these are probably the same people who are doing this investigation.
Oh, by name, Jack Thompson, I believe, has been disbarred from law. But he was the one who headed up the major video game caused violence thing several times now. But I'm wondering if this particular deal in the UK is subject to what we're seeing all over the world now, where politicization, and I only think of that because of the wording here. Is this make UK a good breeding ground for technology and technology deals? And that, to me, indicates there may be two parties, one that believes this is good and one that believes this is bad. And that's what we're seeing this argument take time. And we're going on a year plus now. This has been going on, and likely
feels
longer.
Forever.
And it's strange because we've seen the European, I believe it was the European boards that approved this deal.
Yep, but UK didn't, right? Now, granted, they are sanctioned off and whatever else, but
it is a different geographic. I wonder what they see that everybody else does not.
Well, that's just it. Stephen Datillo took over on Twitter and said, "I spoke with Wedbush's Michael Pachter, who sees a lane forward for the deal in the UK. Quote, carve out Game Pass UK and have no Activision content there while they comply with all the other requests, making content available on consoles, end quote. UK has to agree, which he says is likely. It's interesting to see where this is going to go. Will this actually come around? Bobby Kotick took this morning to press to say
does that help consumers?
Well,
if we have to make a UK specific Game Pass, does all of these judicial decisions actually help the consumer? And is that really what the goal is? It's supposed to be, I thought, to protect the consumer, not the market leader, no matter what.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? So a friend of the show, Stephen Vagvari, posted on Twitter this morning, they're all over the cloud gaming is because Microsoft's leading the charge, right? You take a look at it, it's Microsoft. All the videos we're posting here is Game Pass related with cloud gaming services. They are taking the world by storm.
But the argument has shifted too. At first it was consoles. Console sales were the ones that were important. How do we protect the lead, which is still alien to me. But then it moved on to subscription services, now to cloud service. It seems to be getting more obscure and kind of nebulous as the argument draws on.
Well, and then Catherine over at Bloomberg chimes in with some of the quotes too. Quote, Microsoft already enjoys a powerful position and head start over other competitors in cloud gaming, and this deal would strengthen that advantage, giving it the ability to undermine new innovative competitors, end quote. Martin Coleman, chair of the independent panel of experts conducting this investigation. Man, I don't know, but the undermining, really? That's their motivation here? I don't think so. You know what their motivation is, Scott, is to make money.
Well, yeah, and being penalized for being a successful company, again, seems alien to me. I'm just not sure I understand.
No, absolutely. The CMA took a view that the merger could result in higher prices, fewer choices, and less innovation for UK gamers. However, earlier this month, it narrowed its original scope to focus on cloud gaming rather than consoles after weighing new devices. Quote, we remain fully committed to this acquisition and will appeal, end quote. Brad Smith, vice chair and president of Microsoft, said, quote, the CMA's decision rejects a pragmatic path to address competition concerns and discourages technology innovation and investment in the UK. The CMA's report contradicts the ambitions of the UK to become an attractive country to build technology businesses. Something we've already kind of covered here, Scott. So they just keep building on this, right? And the fact that the UK is just in a different tech, I think, mind frame than the rest of the world right now. And I'm wondering if that's going to change at all to help bring in Microsoft. I get this is a massive deal. And Sony was obviously at the front running, leading the charge, saying, hey, this isn't cool. Now, on the other side of this, if this deal does not go through, Scott, how many exclusive deals do you think Microsoft is going to pull out of the hat to take everything over from Activision? Right? That's what I went instantly.
It certainly could. Yeah, I think that would just really just elevate the combat between console makers here even worse. And it's a $69 billion acquisition. How much legal fees did they account for, do you think? Like, how much do you think the total price of this acquisition is? If it were to go through tomorrow, we getting into a $90 billion spent overall?
Well, that's just it, right? They're looking at one deal. They figured they get some backlash, but I don't think they expected it to go to this level, this degree, right? And there's a lot going on that I think a lot of us as gamers, some of us just don't care at all. Some really don't care, right? If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Regardless, I'm still going to play these games. It doesn't matter if it's on an Xbox or if it's on a PlayStation or if it's on PC. At the end of the day, I think a lot of gamers aren't even aware of what's going on, right? Some of us like ourselves who are so in the nitty gritty and kind of been following this for the past year are up to date and following along to see what happens next. But at the end of it all, gamers just want to play the game. They don't really care where it is, right? Providing that they are able to have the multiple consoles or PC and get in there. But man,
all this scrutiny, and we might see PlayStation no longer do the money hat, as people have been saying, money hatting these games to keep them off Xbox. There's a huge amount of scrutiny now about that. I don't think that's going to continue.
Well, the funny thing is, PlayStation is the one right now leading the charge. Dude, PlayStation's winning the console race. Xbox is still falling behind day in and day out. When you talk about all the games right now and what you're playing, what are you playing, Scott, when it comes to first party titles? If you're playing a first party title, you're playing on Xbox. You're not playing on you're playing on PlayStation, not playing an Xbox title, because they don't really have any right now, right? They don't have anything that's standing out right now. We're waiting for Starfield to come out, but besides that, what else? We have Redfall coming out in like a couple weeks.
We're very close to Redfall, but those are the two big hitters.
I don't think it's going to hit that well. I really don't. I think you're kind of going to be in somewhere around the 7s. And granted, that doesn't make it a bad game by any means, right? I think it's going to be a solid game, but I don't think it's going to be a knock your socks off, blown away, like when we get into God of War. Dude, Burning Shores just wrapped up Burning Shores. Like, there's so many things here from PlayStation hitting day in and day out that we're just like, yo, another banger out of PlayStation and another banger out of PlayStation. We get into Xbox and we're all kind of sitting around waiting. And here they are. They're trying to make this deal go through to help them kind of overcome some of these issues that they're having. So that way, when they do put out a first party title, people feel that they're rewarded for buying the Xbox platform. And here we are, struggling once again for Xbox to try and make any headway within the industry. Granted, they've come a long way, right? They have come so far over the years as to where they were. Dude, 360, they ruled the roost. And then they fell off with Xbox One. And now they're trying to pick up the pieces and slowly build. Game Pass, I think, was part of that strategy to start building themselves back up. But here we are, man. It just seems like lately, every barrier gets blocked in front of them. And they just keep getting blocked a little bit more and blocked a little bit more. And then in this current generational race, dude, they're just losing flat out.
Yeah, it's still very early on, but they have not taken the lead, that's for certain.
Well, do you think it's really that early on? Like, dude, we're coming up on 3 years. We're 3 years now, right?
Well, we comment a lot about how the time flies, and that's something I forget.
Oh,
I did acquire a Series X in 2020. So we are coming up on 3 years now. It's just insane.
Well, and here we posted a post actually over on our YouTube page where you can obviously join in on the conversation at youtube.com/InsideTheGameOfficial. But we posted, if you can only buy one, what game would you be getting? Spider-Man 2 or Starfield? 57% of the votes came in for Spider-Man 2. Once again, right, overseeing that PlayStation is leading the charge, and it's just one of those things.
Has a universal appeal too. Spider-Man is a tough competitor to go up against, no matter who you are, really.
Absolutely. Speaking of PlayStation, Scott, Metacritic pledges stricter moderation after abuse of Horizon Forbidden West DLC review bombing. Andy Robinson and VGC. Before
we get into it,
yeah,
I was lightly aware of the situation as it went on, but reading more into it, this is unbelievable.
Isn't it? It is. This is nuts. I saw some scores are going up, so I completed it. Scott, my final hour count was something like 25 hours.
That's just for the DLC, you're saying?
Just DLC. I am over.
Wow.
I have almost reached 100 hours in Horizon Forbidden West, and with the DLC. So yeah, 25 hours, 26 hours was just for Burning Shores. And people are posting a 0 on Metacritic for user scores. I'm like, that's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So let's get into the article.
A 0 on a rating scale, a 0 just almost shouldn't even be there.
Well, yeah. Popular review aggregation site Metacritic has pledged to introduce stricter moderation after Sony's Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores DLC was review bombed by users. Horizon Forbidden West story expansion was released last week and was widely praised by critics for its story and gameplay additions. However, one plot point appears to have led the game being review bombed by Metacritic, where it currently has a user score of 4 and was as low as 2.7 at one point. I don't want to get into any spoilers here, Scott, so I'm just kind of perusing through here.
I did prune this a little bit. So there is some information I took out of there because I don't want to get... Yeah. You don't want to get into the details surrounding this, but then again, at the same time, that's the ridiculousness of it, in my opinion.
No, absolutely. So we're going to skip that part right there, Scott. I think we'll just that's where I'm going to leave it. Metacritic is aware of the abusive and disrespectful reviews for Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores and we have a moderation system in place to track violation of our terms of use. Our team reviews each and every report of abuse, including but not limited to racist, sexist, homophobic, insults to other users, etc. And if violations occur, the reviews are removed. So they are working on it, Scott. They are working on new systems to implement as well. Dude, Burning Shores is an incredible package of DLC. So 2.7 is an absolute joke for what this is. And I'm not even like, I love my PlayStation, but I also say day in and day out, I also love my Xbox and I love my PC and I like my Switch. You heard me. So, all right, there's just certain things. If it's a good game though, I'm there day one. Like Tears of the Kingdom, I'm buying Tears of the Kingdom, right? Like that's just the way that's going to go. And it's just, we want to be there for everything because I want to enjoy that experience. And when people come in and just review bomb things like this, like get a life. Just go find something else to do.
It's not anger based on the content of what you're playing. It's not based on what they've put in this DLC or the quality thereof. It's not about that. No. It's a social issue that somebody is imprinting their feelings onto the video game to be angry about. And that's something I can't understand and really is a mental issue.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate to see, right? All I can suggest is that you look for the reviewers that you respect and kind of align your own play style with, right? Whether that's myself, Scott, whole other network of people, Steve Bagvari, friend of the show, and others that we talk to and talk about all the time. If that review style lines up with what your perception is of gaming, then that's where I recommend you go to. When you go onto these review bomb sites like this, like Metacritic, they have the critics and then they have the user scores. And then users are just able to go in there and do whatever they want. And we've seen this numerous times over on Metacritic. It is becoming a massive problem.
Every major release has it. I have to recommend any of these reviewers that you can look at, respect, and you perhaps don't know how they vote. That would be my recommendation for you, because these social issues that come up in video games, people will want to zone in on that for clicks, for whatever. And that's just opinion that is just superficial.
No, absolutely. Right. Like a lot of it is clickbait. That's something we try to avoid here. I don't want quick clickbait stuff for us. We want to be able to have a conversation and then be able to back it up with our conversation. It's not clickbaited at all. We just want you to enjoy what our content is and then build a community.
It's not just here to serve you low hanging fruit.
Well, yeah, because if you start clicking on clickbait, you're not going to stick around. Right. And a lot of people are getting into that. And when it gets into Metacritic, they just post a 0 just to get a rouse of people and start ticking people off. And it's just unfortunate because there's a lot of people who work very, very hard over at Guerrilla to produce this game, to produce this DLC and allow fans to enjoy it. Myself and Steve are the ones reviewing it. So look for our reviews next week and we'll be talking about it. But I got a couple negative aspects of it. But overall, like, man, my review isn't going to be a 0. It's going to be well above the 5 mark for our score, right? And it's another piece of solid content. 25 hours is not something you're not going to enjoy, right? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so, you would have peeled out before 25 hours.
Dude, I was talking to Kyle last night about it. I put in 25 hours and it felt like I only put in 10. Like, it just flew by.
That's a good mark.
Man, it's already gone. Like so that's where I'm at, right? So that kind of gives you my perspective. But I love Horizon Forbidden West. I love Aloy as a character in the world that Guerrilla has built just for Horizon itself. And then what the future holds, man, opportunities. But speaking of future, Scott, let's get into it as Apex Future brings on a new hero, Ballistic, an old gunfighter with a long history. Why don't you take this one, dude? I'm kind of out of the whole Apex thing.
Oh, it has been a while since I've played Apex myself, but this is over on Polygon. Owen Good writes, Apex Legends' newest character is an older man, Ballistic, who in the hero shooter battle royale is described as a disgraced legend. From a time before the Apex games, now he's back to settle some very old scores. I love the idea of anything before the Apex games because we're edging into Titanfall universe. Although I'm not aware of Ballistic's already being there. Ballistic, his real name, August Montgomery Brinkman, is a 63-year-old fighter whose playing record goes back to the Thunderdome games, the canonical predecessor of the Apex games. Ballistic was revealed in a nearly 5-minute teaser trailer that Respawn published Monday after data miners outed all of their plans for Season 17. That new season still launches as scheduled this May 9th on Nintendo Switch, PlayStations, Xboxes, PC. In the video, we learn that Ballistic was a star in the Thunderdome games. Now he's joining the current promotion to spare his son from the death in the arena. Apex Legends' current season launched in February without a new hero, but the game did reclassify the 23 existing heroes into one of 5 categories, and Ballistic would be an assault character, so he fits into that.
Not bad. Pretty cool. Dude, I always love the trailers. Like, I think that's the biggest standout thing for me. Brad, I'm sorry, dude. I missed your comments. I didn't realize you were over on YouTube. My bad on that one. Sorry, buddy. He does have a question, though, as to why was this the catalyst that made them change? It's been happening for years. It has been happening. He's referencing our discussion about Metacritic, right? And
yeah, these review bombs.
Yeah, no, it has been. Every time PlayStation puts up a new game, it then gets review bombed. Like God of War Ragnarok got review bombed. I'm like, you're kidding me. Like, come on.
It's the most incredibly silly titles too, as well. Anytime there's a major, massive release that 90% of people are gonna love, review bombed.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate to see, right? Like, that's not necessary at all. People just like to waste others' time, and they're just negative people and want to stick around for that stuff. And it's unfortunate. But Scott, are you excited for the new hero at all? You gonna even it was funny because you and I were talking now. You just deleted Apex Legends. I just deleted it not too long ago as well. Dude, it's just, they're bullet sponges to me, and it drives me insane.
I want to get in again, but there's just too many games out there now. And when it comes to competing with hard drive space, that's specifically why I had deleted it.
Yeah,
not a statement on the quality of the game.
No, I think it's a fantastic game. The quality is there. It's a standout, right? And there's a reason why I think Apex and Team Over Respawn is able to keep this game alive. We talk about games of service all the time being an issue. Well, here we are, Apex, still pumping out content and keeping the community going. If you're in Apex, that world, you are in. I just want a movie.
There we go. That's really what I want. Some transmedia properties, because I think that'd be an amazing universe to pull from.
Yeah,
because I love it from Titanfall.
No, absolutely. Scott, we do have some game new releases and announcements today. Holy moly, man. We have a few of those to get through. What do we have?
Yes, we do. Aliens Dark Descent was a thrilling new trailer. The strategic real-time squad-based tactical action game set in the iconic Alien franchise will be released on June 20th on PlayStations, Xboxes, and PC. Get ready for an original Alien story showcase in the cinematic trailer with glimpses of tactical gameplay. I really want to play Dark Descent. That's the one I think is going to get me.
That's fair. Dude, this looks cool.
I want to get you to play tactics. Alien Isolation, but I know you never will. So.
I'm too busy, man. I'm back in Dishonored right now, so that yeah.
This one's legitimately scary.
Yeah, previews and reviews are keeping me busy.
We do also have information on Flashback 2, releasing in November of this year on PlayStations, Xboxes, Nintendo Switch, and PC. The platform shooter, filled with exploration, puzzle solving, and of course adventure, will also be available as collecting and limited editions. In 1992, Flashback revolutionized action gaming and gained legendary status, ranking among the top 100 video games in history. Developed by the game original Paul Cassette in collaboration with Microids Lion Paris Studio, Flashback 2 will offer an experience faithful to the Flashback universe.
Dude, that's
I'm not
cool.
familiar with that myself, but I'm interested.
It looks very cool. But Scott, you have 15 seconds, buddy. What do you got?
We do have full releases today, that being Desta, The Memories Between on Nintendo Switch and PC, Mangavania on Xboxes, and Cassette Beast on PC and Linux.
And just like that, so that's going to wrap up our show for today, everybody. This is ITG Daily. We bring you the hottest in gaming news. And until tomorrow, I'm Drew, that's Scott, and this is Inside the Game, each and every day. ITG Daily.